I'm going to try to be very brief. My opinion that I'm going to share is really very controversial, but just bear with me. That's who I am. I would just like to request that there are people, of course, who have put themselves at the front line. And really, nobody is perfect. Morara is not perfect. Caswell is not perfect. And I feel like we're concentrating more on their weaknesses, but not on their strengths. The government that we are fighting is a rogue government. So what do we need? Strict and book smart people. So the moment we see something wrong on our people and we keep shouting, I keep citing Vikings. You have somebody and their shield is broken and they're at the front and you're there going, the shield is broken. So the enemy is listening to that, and the enemy is actually also really putting them on the spotlight. But what we are doing at the moment is currently just tearing them down. They don't know it's their first time. Actually, the reason why they're out there is because the government has failed, and there is, as we speak, a vacuum. If the government was doing everything right, or even 80%, we wouldn't have these people out there. So I'd like to really just highlight out there that nobody can get it the very first time, the right, in the right way. And of course, there are people, there are veterans in politics who are going to pull them aside and tell them, hey, can you do this for us? This is the right direction. So they're listening to these people. They're listening to the enemy, but they're also listening to you, to us. We are not helping them if we are fighting them all the time. I mean, we can call them, like somebody said, let's talk behind the tent. Let's do that. So we have two people that I don't want to really conflict further and say, well, these are the leaders, but these are two who have put themselves at the front line there. Now we need a third one, and probably as a fourth one. We need to have diversity because, there are things that are playing at the background. You will never know what is going on. So when you put your eggs in one basket, you're going to be coming here screaming and saying, well, but he did something else. This is not what we agreed on. We should really also learn that politics sometimes is about, making compromises. I will tell you, I've seen two strengths. I've seen a serious strength in Morara. I've also seen a serious strength in Caswell, and we need to combine forces. This is what I want to say. And after I don't want to take a lot of time, yes, I just want to really, I understand that people are very, very upset, and this is because you're not getting your needs are not being addressed. But in the beginning of the movement, I and other people said the power you have is really being tribalist. As you see, they're pulling the tribe card again. When they brought in Raila, they say, whoa, Nyanza is in. Now Gachagua, don't touch the mountain. Mudavadi is in there and Mutangala. So guys, if you want to fight, and I'll repeat it once again, the tribalism has to go. It's the biggest factor, but these people factor in, and it works every other day. So let's just work towards that, and let's just have some more patience, because really, even the guys who go out there and want to do something, it's not like they're prepared. It's really just their first time. So let's also, it's a battlefield that you do not prepare for, but you're in there. And remember, you're in the battlefield. You have no business fighting somebody who's trying to really fight for you. Well, I know it's complicated, but you really just let's try not to weigh them down, because by the end of the day, if you do that, Ruto is probably just before he goes to bed, checks the timeline and say, oh, wow, yes, that's working out very nicely. So lastly, one thing inside I want to just share, the impeachment motion is a serious distraction. It's not going to happen. Yeah, and if it happens, then the replacement must come from the central Kenya. If the government is clever, if it goes to another region, they actually lose the next election. So I think that's a distraction we need to avoid. And so just finally, I would like to really just encourage, no matter the dissatisfaction that people have with the government. We have a rogue government here. We have criminals here. We have bandits out there. You want to send only street people to fight the bandits? We need, even the movement, we need people who are street smart. So combine all of that. And yes, as we combine, the diaspora is also really out there. And thanks, Afro. Thanks everyone else from the diaspora. And so the Dutch diaspora is organizing a demonstration around the Maandamano Day. Look, I think I pinned the tweet. Do share it. And that is how we show also our resistance from here. We did that during the visit where Ruto came to Germany. We also, went in there and represented the fallen heroes. Yeah, so let's keep fighting. Let's not use our energy to fight the people who are out there trying to fight. They are going to buy people. They try to reach out to many people, be inclusive. So really, guys, just look at it from that point of what do you want to get, and get that. And don't tear yourself apart because of billionaires. That doesn't look good. Thank you so much, Afro and everyone. And it was a pleasure joining you guys. I give back the mic to Afro.
Thank you so much, Marge, for your submission. I agree and support everything you say. Marge, before you drop, I have a question for Marge. How can you encourage diasporans to keep on giving resources, time, efforts to the movement when some key figures? I saw a tweet that was very divisive. And one thing I've been trying to, people listen to the tone or the language. Anything that tries to divide us on tribe, on ageism, tries to separate this generation and this generation. Today there was a lot of Kikuyu and Kalenjin versus Luo, and things we don't even subscribe to. That's how you know we're being infiltrated. I like our conversation is being, who speaks like that in Gen Z? On the tribe, we're trying to be, there's a classism also going on. So whatever, and also religion, anyone who's trying to divide us, because these are ways we can divide it, diaspora versus local Kenyans. So many ways you can be divided. We can be diced, because when we get diced and sliced, then they rule. And once you can understand, like, this is the card they are playing, then it is very easy for us to dismiss those voices. Because, don't get me wrong, our communities or our nation's most articulate voices define what happens. They define the status quo, like whatever, they define whatever is in everyone's consciousness, the community consciousness. You can think that there are so many people who are supporting Ruto. Kumbe, Ruto has just paid one person in Inoro FM, another person in Capital FM, another person on Space. And you just think, we have lost. Kumbe wamelipwa. So Marge, in closing, how can diaspora keep up the support and keep on pushing despite discouragements which are coming in?
Yes, thanks for the very important question. I'd like to really state that diaspora has played a huge role and will keep playing a huge role in the future. So as we speak now, the diaspora actually delivered a win to Azimio during the last elections. And in as much as that win was very small, because we were not registered, there was not so many people registered because we were not voting everywhere, registering in every embassy. That's why the number was small. But still, that win had an impact. Why? When Ruto was coming to Germany, he had to come with Baba, because Baba and Martha are the winners of the diaspora currently. So Baba had to sweep clean before, Ruto speaks. And even at the I think you guys saw in YouTube. So in the US too, they were there. Of course, they're still campaigning together, but just so that you understand, at least for those who don't understand the impact. Now, a lot of diasporans are really keen on helping. But the government on the other side is also keen on ensuring that diasporans don't get their rights to voting implemented as such, because they know, the government knows, not only this one, but even the previous ones, that the diaspora is going to not vote in tribal lines, but, they're going to look at different criteria. Now, we are currently really just observing and helping. We will keep helping. I will not say that we are 100%, clean. Of course, there are a few people in the diaspora who are also, following their own, agendas that we cannot, deny. But the majority of diasporans are keen to help change, bring positive change, and the reason why you saw even last time people coming out during the finance bill to protest is because it also affected them directly. So what affects you in Kenya affects also your diasporan relative, even the diasporans who are not your relatives, because if there's corruption, we cannot invest there. We take our money somewhere else. So we will keep helping because we want to help our motherland. We have a wave of right-wing, growing stronger in Europe. So we need to protect our home, Kenya. So the division that's coming, or the tweets that you're talking about, Afro, we cannot tell the motivation, but we want to say that we will stay above it and try to look at, how can we ensure that many people get further access to education? If, for example, the bilateral, agreement between Germany and Kenya is being mentioned, we as diasporans want to tell them also the negatives about these bilateral agreement, but also then the positives too, and then make sure that they go back to their countries and help. So we want to really keep developing our country too, because we cannot only be developing the developed countries already. So no, the diaspora will not feel intimidated or divided by any people out there. Currently, that's why I'm telling you guys, pitch yourself there. So Morara currently, and if you're listening, you're doing a good job. Has also a huge support base in the diaspora. We have Casmel also has a huge diaspora support. We're going to support you people. We're going to support those who are coming up to try to push for change. So don't feel intimidated. Just be true to yourself and just don't really put all your hopes on somebody. Don't let it be like when I pick the microphone, I have to speak exactly what you want to hear. When I say something different, a little different, it's also okay. It's democracy. Just look at any other things that I said which would work for the republic, which would work for good governance. So we're in there for good governance. We haven't given up. We'll ask you not to give up. And finally, this is really draining. I'd like to tell everyone to try to take a break, because we have an alternative. But if I was living in Kenya, I would be crying every day, because the government has made it, a task of the citizens to defend themselves every day. Every day, that's how much this government hates the people. It's horrible. And this is the anger that you see, that people are really just abusing it. It's just the anger. So try to have a break from all these, some time out from internet, because otherwise guys can go crazy. Today was one of those days where I was thinking, oh my gosh, the internet, the timeline was just lighting it. No, guys, and you do not deserve this. It's your government putting you through this. Try to find some strategies to really manage and still be able to, defend and work hard for good governance, but nevertheless take care of your mental health and put bread on your table. And there's unemployment in Kenya. There are things like kufa dereva, kufa makanga, print t-shirts and sell. Make money off these goons. You have to make money off them. You see, that's the incentive you have as you fight, because it is going to take a little longer for them to change. No, you find something going on, print a t-shirt, print a printer, a key holder, something. Just survive while we do all these things. And so, yeah, we are supporting. We'll keep supporting. and keep the good fight. Thank you, Afro, and back to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Guys, let's remain unified in this fight for good governance, transparency, and accountability. I want to give the microphone to Sigrid Ukop.
So let me drop for someone, Afro, so that at least somebody else can get out. Okay.
Good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Afro. It has been really long since I came back to X-Space to just give a view. I just wanted to say, I think we should treat each other with a little more grace. For some of us, I think I've stayed like a month or two without coming to X-Space. Because I don't know, there's some video of some guy who was trying to explain to Kenyans what the movement meant for us. And for us, for some of us, it was like the last hope. And so when we started seeing people talking different languages, like some people went into depression. Some people, for some of us, it just hit us so bad, So we took a break. I think I'm coming to X-Space after just seeing the spirit of Kenyans today. I got a little bit happy and felt like, okay, let me go back to X and see what Kenyans are up to. I want to reiterate what other people have already talked about. If you feel like you are if you feel like you can do something, just go out to the streets and take these spaces. You see, it is easy for us to criticize people like Morara, for example, or even give an opinion about these people who are coming out. But you see, most of them, they came out on their own accord, Morara actually built himself, we saw this guy coming and talking on roads and doing something, and so if you feel like, for example, you are a leader or a politician or anything, why can't you just come out? Come out. Kenyans are going to support you. I swear, if you come out and show us what you've got, if you can also go to the streets and do what people like Morara are doing, you are creating a niche, You're creating a niche for your own self, and it doesn't matter whether you want to cash from it. Just go out. It will also help us so that these people don't feel like, okay, now we are over concentrating on this man. We want to have multiple voices, and not just on X spaces. We want to see people who, somebody already talked about different professions. So I know people are. People who are on agriculture, some on AI, some on tech. Just create a niche for yourself and say that, when people are talking about governance, this is my contribution. And when you push a little harder, this is a niche also you're creating for yourself. I want to also talk about the bombers thing. You see, when I say creating a niche, today, for example, we had Morara in the way these ODM goons were bullying. ODM goons were trying to create violence on this man who is harmless. But all of a sudden, there's this woman who just came and shut the hole and took the space and talked, And when we have people like that, Caroline Chepto, or what was her name, Chepto, and more like hundreds of people like that, people who are unexpected, people who go to surprise these politicians, they'll be shocked. They'll be like, okay, we thought it was Morara who was a problem. Kumbe, this thing is bigger than we thought, So that is the issue. If you feel like you have that confidence to be in public, go out. Go out. If you don't have a job, for example, and this courage is your thing, this politics is your thing, go out and create a niche. Kenyans are going to support you because, as people have talked about it, Kenyans want heroes. Kenyans are desperate for people who can create change. people who have active voices. So don't just sit there and say that, it is easier to criticize Morara and people like that. What are you doing? Go out there. We are going to support you. We are going to do what we can. We've been, personally, I've been contributing even to people like Morara and people who are coming out. And people here in the diaspora, they're doing that. They're contributing to Kenyans, But how will we contribute to you if you're just sitting and criticizing others? Go out, pick a niche. What do you have? What is your strength? Do you have the courage? Go out and help us bring Ruto and Gachagua down. I want to talk to the ODM goons. I know there are people here who are associated or who are friends of these people. It was a party that I had. I was a member of that party until this very last time that they took our space. I want to tell you people, and sorry, because sometimes I start conversations that are very difficult. I want to talk to my people from Luo Nyanza. Please don't allow this government to put this nonsense of, impeaching Gachagua to be a face of this. This is the same way they made us to be a face of BBI. This thing is not going to benefit our people. So if we didn't vote even for this government, what is it that now Ruto is coming to tell us that now this one is good and this one is bad? We don't know them. We didn't vote for them. If they are going to fight themselves, let them fight themselves and die there. We didn't vote for this bogus government. It is not part of us. If they are going to kill each other, that's their own problem. It's not our problem. Now you are coming to tell us now that TJ Kajwang, I was so mad because TJ Kajwang, you are coming from a community that has been the biggest victims of political chaos. And somebody's child, a harmless boy, is being beaten and you're saying, piga. What the I was so mad. You guys, it is not our war. Like people from Luo Nyanza, please talk to the people in your villages. This is not your war. Let Ruto and Gachagua kill themselves if they want to. We didn't vote for them. We don't